A 12-alarm fire in a Center City high-rise is under control, but not before killing 3 firefighters and injuring at least 10 others. The first alarm sounded at 8:27 last night on the 22nd floor of the Meridian Bank Plaza building, right across from the southwest corner of City Hall. By midnight, the fire had gone to 9 alarms. And you could see from Chopper 6 the thick black smoke that filled the night sky. Officials say fire prevention systems failed here, and if they had worked, the fire could have been brought under control in about an hour. Smoldering debris fell from the building all night, and with sub-freezing temperatures, frozen water made for an unusual sight below. At 2 a.m., the fire ran to 12 alarms, and in the early morning hours, you could see from our pictures how fiercely the fire had spread. Just after 6:30 this morning, as dawn was breaking, the fire appeared to engulf a full 3 stories of the building. By 7:30, firefighters were pulled from the upper floors of the building. It was deemed just too dangerous for them to be there, but it was too late for these 3 firefighters killed overnight, all from Engine 11, Captain David Holcomb, and firefighters Phil McAllister and James Chappelle. Now, with 9 floors burning, Action News reporter Lucy Yang tells the rest of the story tonight.
By daybreak, this building was so hot, the steel beams started buckling and the concrete began cracking, forcing structural engineers to declare the building unsafe. The fear being that all 8 incinerated floors would simply collapse. By then, overnight firefighters were also near collapse themselves. The fireball created such a thick fog of smoke that there was apparently no visibility inside. Can you see anything as you walk through the floors?
Barely. When you're fighting a fire, it's really just done by feeling.
Officials tried to tame this inferno from all possible angles, from hoses on the ground to powerful streams of water from neighboring skyscrapers. This bird's eye view from the rooftop of Center Square shows how the once plush offices have now turned to soot and ashes. According to fire officials, everything that could have gone wrong here did. Commissioner ULSHAFER reports not only did the power system and its backup generator collapse, the fire pumps, standpipe systems, and backup systems also failed to work. Compounded, this created a monstrous force even all this manpower could not combat.
There's no fire department in the world that can control a major fire in a high-rise building on an upper floor if the fire protection systems and also the redundancies that's built into them all fail.
Another problem today, flying debris and falling glass and concrete. Not only was that extremely hazardous for the firefighters below, it was also reportedly breaking the hoses on the ground. No matter what view you had of this smoldering wreck today, fire officials all agree this was the worst high-rise blaze any of them has ever battled. Lucy Yang, Channel 6 Action News, Center City.
The fire was declared under control officially at 3:01 this afternoon. Let's go live now to David Henry for the very latest on the fire and the aftermath. David.
Well, Rob, now that the fire is under control, the cleanup has begun, and the aftermath of this inferno will have serious effects on downtown Center City for weeks to come. Right now, the real concern is the structural integrity of the building.
We feel pretty confident at this point that the interior and the exterior of the building is all right, except for the one area where I pointed out on the 26th and 27th floor. There's 2 pieces of wall facade there that are hanging precariously, and that's what we're concerned about now.
At one point, Commissioner ULSHAFER had pulled most of his men out of the building, fearing that floors number 28 and down might collapse all the way down to the 18th floor. There are still hot spots in there. Normally, they'd be hosing them down, but they're holding off to prevent further structural damage.
We're concerned that the cold water on the hot steel up there will cause further contraction and expansion and then give us a collapse. We're going to let the building cool down normally and probably go up there for final extinguishment sometime tomorrow.
About an hour after the fire was declared under control, firemen and structural engineers were able to start their investigation on the 22nd floor where the fire started. Now, tomorrow's rush hour promises to be a real nightmare, since 15th Street and the southwest part of the loop around City Hall will remain closed for a while.
We are going to deploy all our special units, including Highway Patrol and our Patrol Bureau personnel at all the key intersections to ensure that we keep traffic flowing smoothly.
Now here's a look as you look live at the building at what you can expect in Center City tomorrow. 15th Street will definitely be closed. The police also say the 1400 block of Chestnut Street will be closed, and South Broad Street between Market and Chestnut will be closed to traffic. Now SEPTA detours will be in effect. In addition, the Mellon building will be closed, and of course the Meridian Bank building will also be closed. Meridian does not own the building. It is owned by the Richard I. Rubin and Associates development firm. Now earlier a spokesman issued this statement. It says, "We are very saddened by this occurrence, and until there's an opportunity to thoroughly investigate the building and the origin of the fire, we are unable to say more," unquote. Now, as you look live at the building and we return live here on Center City, all we can say it's been a long day for firemen and probably a long day for policemen tomorrow. This is David Henry reporting live on the Action Cam from Center City.
Thank you, David. Now, the 3 firefighters killed were a captain who was a 28-year fire department veteran and 2 members of his fire platoon. Vernon Odom has more on the victims tonight.
Firefighter Bruce Padgett sat virtually alone in the Engine Company 11 station house this afternoon, manning the telephones and radios, mourning the loss of 3 of his longtime colleagues from this historic engine company. The platoon members that died in the Meridian fire last night, Captain David Holcomb Jr., Phil McAllister, and James Chappelle.
It's rough to know that they're not going to be here tomorrow, you know, and I'll miss them. I miss them a lot.
The 3 were reported missing around 10 o'clock as they fought the skyscraper blaze. The fire commissioner believes they became disoriented in the heavy smoke and ran out of oxygen from their portable tanks.
We're trying to find out why they got themselves above the fire. We sent rescue teams to get them, and after a significant effort by the part of our people, we found them on the 28th floor. They were overcome by smoke.
Firefighter James Chappelle of West Philadelphia was 29 years old, a 4-year veteran of the department. He'd been married only 2 months and had just learned his bride was expecting. Phil McAllister was 44, a 10-year veteran who leaves behind a wife and 2 sons. Captain David Holcomb Jr. was 52, a Philadelphia fireman for 28 years. When he was in the fire marshal's office, he supervised the fire watch at the hotel where then Vice President George Bush spent the night in Philadelphia. Family and friends gathered at Holcomb's home today. He leaves behind his wife Mary, 2 children, and a proud but grieving father.
He was a proud man.